Very well, so I got the C111 here turned on, and I got the sheet of the specifications out of the book, and I'm gonna program the Acura CL just for demonstration purposes from 2001 to 2003. We begin the alignment, and now we have several choices. We have the spec memory here, and we can use the ones if you have an updated EEPROM. Well, you got the manufacturers there up to date, or you can use the user specs, which you can program into the flash memory. You can program cars that you use most of the time, or you can actually come here to enter the data manually using your book. So in this case, we're going to start by programming the Acura CL, and we're going to go to left camber, which is camber is 00 plus or minus 1. That's 0.0. And then we have to enter the number plus or minus 1.0 and enter the number. So, and then the right camber will be the same, it's 0.0, enter. And the tolerance will be 1.0 plus or minus 1. Then we go to caster as 2.8, enter the number plus or minus 1 degree. Then we enter. And the total will be to the front 0.0, enter plus or minus 0.08. And then we enter the number. Now we go to the rear, and we enter the rear camber is minus 0.5. So it's minus 0.50. Enter the number, and then 1.0 on the tolerance. Enter the number. And finally the total will be 0.08 plus minus 0.08. So 0.08. Enter the number plus minus 0.08. And then we enter the number. Now the tow units, you can select the tow units. Right now is default to inches, but you can put millimeters or millimeters at some rim diameter, or degrees. For me, I prefer to have it in inches, so that's why you select what kind of units you're going to have. But now what I'm going to do, turn the machine off so I can remove the RAM, put it on the programmer. So let me go ahead and turn the machine off real quick. Now we come here to the motherboard, and here is the RAM chip, and we're gonna just remove it. Carefully remove it. So here it is. So the information should be kept in it because it's got a battery backup. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to put this on the programmer and read the information in it, and that'll be the next step. Let's put it on the programmer right here. Make sure it's pointing in the right direction, and we're going to select the device. The device is going to be double EEPROM. We're going to select that manufacturer type, the MK M48Z02B. Now we're ready to read it again, as we did with the EEPROM. So press R and Y, and it'll read it. And now we're going to display just the buffer, just to make sure the information is there. And I can see information in it. Let's save the file to disk here, save up to disk. We're gonna name it 2001 to 2003 CL, just to give it a name, and save it to the disk. Alright, so here's the file, and we're gonna drop it into Hue. Okay, we're here on the editor, and I open the file here, 0103CL. So now we're gonna punch enter to go into the editor. Here we have the whole contents of the RAM at this time. As you can see on the picture there, the hex characters that are the 03E8. So let's do a search. So we come here and search on hex 03E8, see if it finds it. Alright, so now it brought us here to the first 03E8. We got above it, we have the decimals that we punch into the manual entry on the specifications for the CL. And right here is extended character data, which starts with 00, as you see on the whiteboard, 03E8, 03E8, and it goes all the way to 1F. FF indicates the end of that file. We can see that whatever decimals we punch in the manual entry, they're going to show up on the ramp right there on the same spot. All you have to do now is get a piece of paper and write down hex values from the beginning to the FF. So you write them down carefully, and then just go to the next car. So this is how it shows up on the ramp. Okay, so for this part of the video, we're going to put everything together. And to do that, I'm going to use the set of specifications we already have. And we're gonna do some modifications on that data by adding a manufacturer new model and some made up specifications that we're gonna do for it just for demonstrations purposes. And first we're gonna enter that made up data manually enter into the C111, and we're gonna retrieve it, removing the RAM chip and read it. We're gonna write down the hex values, and with those hex values we're gonna modify the original data on that EEPROM. Then we're gonna erase an EEPROM using my EEPROM eraser. Then we're gonna put the EEPROM on the programmer. We're gonna transfer all that data that we've modified and actually program it into the chip. Using the editor on the programmer, we're gonna make sure that checksum ends on even numbers, so the machine will take that EEPROM and read it, otherwise it won't. After that, we're just gonna put the EEPROM back on the machine and just make sure everything worked. So for that, we're gonna have some fun. Let's get rid of this right here, and we're gonna add a manufacturer, and our manufacturer is gonna be Tesla. And we're gonna add a car, a model. It's gonna be 2020 Cybertruck. Now for the data, I have no idea what a Cybertruck alignment specs will be, right? And I don't care. But we're gonna make up some specs for it just to make sure that when we put it on the EEPROM, they actually look recognizable for you. So instead of 0 right here, we're gonna put 0.5, and everything is gonna be 0.5, 0.5. So we're gonna do everything 5, right? 0.05 on 5.5, whatever. And of course this hex data is not valid anymore, because we're gonna enter all these decimals into the machine and retrieve these hex values from the RAM, and we're gonna put them right here. And that data is what we're gonna use to modify the final EEPROM. So this is not going to be valid anymore. Neither is these symbols, because they will change with the hex values. Okay, so we got our chart here. So let's go to the next step. Now, when I told you that it was a sequential order on the EEPROM data, what it means is if I add Tesla and I'll go to the T, and after Toyota, or before Toyota, I would have to add Tesla, right? So, and then the rest of the data, we had to move it down, and we had to be very careful on the position of all those characters, that they had to match whatever we have now. Because if we move it a little bit to this side or to the other, then on the CRT, on the C111 is going to be moved. The block of data will move the letters to the side. So, and then it'll be sequential all the way to the end. It just is a mess. So we have to keep the same spacing for the hex data that we have. It's just for having fun with this. So let's do it.